practice noodling. We all do it. It's good for you. But you shouldn't fill up on carbs, you know. Fill up on something else. Vegetables, I don't know. Worry about your ear hole rather than your hands. Ooh, that's out of tune. Speaking of ear hole. Well, here's a practice tip for you. Good Lord, how do I get this guitar in the shot? It's like Alice in Wonderland up in this bitch. How to use a capo when you practice. What is a capo? Have a capo? I thought I did. Here's one. Standard capo. Capo fits on the guitar, as you know, on the frets or on the just behind the frets. It's almost like a substitute nut. So instead of playing an E chord in the open position like that, you can move it around. Play the E shape or an open chord, what we commonly think of as the E shape, anywhere on the guitar. Sort of a substitute bar, a bar chord. It allows you to change the key of a song you're playing and still sound like you're playing in the key of everybody else. It's a way to, I guess, modulate the key relationship of your own instrument. Who knows what the technical terms for it is? Musicologists help me out. But how to use it to practice? Well, I'm sure you're familiar with the scale, major scale. We learn these patterns all the time. If you think about Western music, most of the music you listen to is going to be in a major key or a minor key. And really that's the same thing as far as the guitar goes. It's the same pattern system. Major and minor are just two different modes of one another. And in both cases, in the minor and the major scales, the relationship or the interval relationship between the notes is going to be always the same. There's always going to be a root note and a major second note and a major third note and a major fourth note and a major fifth note. And all those notes are going to be either a fret apart or 2 frets apart. Oops. That's just because that's the way Western music goes. Either the notes are a major second apart, 2 frets, or they're going to be a single fret apart, a minor second. And because of that oddity, the right note is always going to be a fret away. So if you hear a clam when you're playing, you know it sounds kind of weird to your ear hole. Try to shift it one note one way or the other way, and you usually land on a scalar note, a note that's in the key. So if you're trying to practice without learning theory, one way you can accustom yourself to these patterns and these shapes is to use a capo. Because that way you can play a song in, let's say, the key of E. And you have that E shape up here. C, A minor, But what you also have when you're playing in the key of E is open strings. The top 3 strings are going to make an E minor chord. This guitar happens to be an E flat, but it doesn't matter. E minor, top 3 strings. Actually, you can make it a major by putting this one on. There's only one open string in the key of E. That you can't play. Well, there's 2. The G string, because really you want this G sharp, and the D string, because you need that D sharp. Because of that, when you're soloing around in E and you happen to hit the D string or the G string, it's going to sound weird. Because you're a fret off. You need those notes. So how can the capo help? Well, the capo can throw you off, which is a good thing. You don't make yourself uncomfortable when you play music. Put it on the 1st fret when you're playing in the key of E, and then all the open strings will be different. So you'll be able to hear the clams more. And then you can shift it out. You can take it off, play some more, hear for the clams, and then put it on. That way it'll accustom you to making slight 1 fret adjustments when you're playing. It's sort of like a very subtle alternate tuning, almost a detuning. Well, it's a little bit more than a detuning. Anyway, screw around with it. I think you'll find that it benefits your ear learning, and I've certainly found that that's been the case in my life. So whether or not you think I'm a good guitarist or not is in a way immaterial. What you don't know is that my ear is being trained when I play, and you should train your ear too. Play all the time, play loud, close your eyes.